Hey everybody, sorry for the delay. Weekly profit cycles ran a little longer. Hopefully you are here. I'm going to tell people in the pro room here we are actually live. All right, let's see here. Howdy, howdy. Okay, guys, let's see. You know what's funny is we remember we looked at the credit spread sheet last week. Did you guys like looking at the Edge Hunter sheets for like looking at for finding trades? I used to do that a lot in pro, but not everybody subscribes to it. So I stopped doing it because prices went through the roof on the Edge Hunter stuff. And Kieran still hasn't invented his cheapy volatility product thing where we could all use it and not spend any money. Oh, Bill K liked it. Oh, cool, Kieran. Kieran is a longtime student, also happens to be a pretty good computer programmer. I'll do another. I'll probably do like every other week, Bob. Well, anyway, like the class. Well, here's like a classic thing here, right? Well, I didn't put that out, and then I realized I didn't put it out as a trade. I sold my put spreads, and I didn't put it out as a trade. That was kind of dumb. Now, here's something else that's annoying. This thing, right? So we made a little money on it, whatever. But look at what IBM did. 245. Freaking stock never goes straight up. 20 bucks. 10% in 7 trading days. I know. Well, I'm just letting you know, every time I want to buy a call calendar in equity, just buy the calls. Just remind me. Say, Andrew, you know what? Just buy the freaking calls. Ay. I know. I bought a little IBM in the dip in April. I don't remember what, like maybe 220 or something. I kind of realize it does make some money. Although it's not as cheap of a stock as it used to be. But hey, they got AI and they got quantum computing, Doug D, right? Were you an IBM or were you a Microsoft? I can't remember. Excuse me. Yeah, the dividend yield is definitely not as good as it was. I mean, it was like 5%. So, they're not going to raise it a whole lot more than this, the dividend, but still, that was crazy. It's almost what, $7? What is that? $3.50? 320, 640. Yep. So, I mean, at probably here, I'm not really buying any much. Yeah, it's hard to buy any more here, I have to say. Right around $200, I kind of like it, but anyway. So it did go flying. What I thought we do today is, and obviously the Meta sell the call spread. What do we sell the call? This is like what here? I think we sold it this day, Thursday. Sold that put spread. Stock just went straight to the moon. So it's probably one of my better purchases in the whole downswing. Oil stocks are getting trashed. Just looking at a few others. Just thrashed. I mean, should it really be like this low? Pretty low. Here, take a look at this. I know I have a lot of oil in my portfolio, so I like the dividends. I don't like where the stocks are currently, but makes me want to buy some more. So I thought, today too, what does a yeah, I mean, but it probably will kick off what 4% in dividends or something this year, I think, net. My biggest problem is when oil prices spike, I don't really sell any. SIBO was another good holding, and I bought some CME too, lost in space. Wow, that's a good day for SIBO. All-time high. I love looking at the price of this. Because let's see, I know that at $100 a share, a seat that I could have bought for $330,000 in 1992 is now every $100 it's worth $5 million. So that one $300,000 seat is now worth $10 million for every one seat holder. My PSE seat, the New York Stock Exchange just bought it for cash and we never got stock. Yeah. The problem is I didn't buy the SIBO seat. I bought the PICO seat and we got cash. And then, of course, that stock is 10x from that purchase in 2004, I think. What are you going to do? Yeah, the SIBO, and back then, the SIBO seats were returning like, let's see, 14% a year lease fee way back when, before, now you just buy it right. They just, you just have a trading right now. It's no longer a seat. But anyway, many moons ago. If we could go back in time, lost in space, it'd be really easy to make money. Heck, just go back in time about 5 hours, a couple hours ago, an hour ago. Well, it was funny because there was this, some friends of mine were telling me, there was a broker in a pit who was a really funny guy, but he had all kinds of health problems. And they're like, Andrew, he wants to sell a seat. You really should buy it, man. They're never going to be this cheap again. I'm like, are you kidding? This place sucks. That was probably the bottom of the bear market in like 92, I think. Anyway. Now, SIBO, let's see here what we got for earnings. So this is closing on $10 a share in earnings. Um, However, I've been buying this stock since around 150, I believe, about 150. So I think this is a great long-term purchase, definitely like a buy on dips type of thing. And one of the bigger, I think, secret parts of this, the SIBO in general, is they are trying to get their flex marketplace to take over some of the OTC business from like Morgan Stanley and Goldman and stuff like that. So the difference is a flex product. Basically, you can quote, institutions can quote a customized derivative product from other houses, but it's OCC cleared, which is different than the counterparty risk you have if you do like a straight OTC transaction with a hedge fund or something like this. The SIBO, the flex product, is OCC cleared. And actually, it's a friend of Leisha's who's running that product now for the SIBO. He was an old floor broker and trader. And he's doing very well. Anyway, when he told me that, he's like, yeah, we're I think this has got a good opportunity. Like, it was kind of good enough for him to sort of get out of retirement to go do. So anyway, so I think it's a long-term purchase. From a trade point of view, I don't know what kind of a trade we have. We got pretty low vol. This stock held up obviously pretty well. I got a little vol. The CME trades at a similar multiple. This is another one I started buying at the beginning of the year, like around 225 or something. Maybe it was November. But I mean, it's clear there these stocks are just going straight to the moon. But what I want to do today is see if we can do like a portfolio hedge. I don't think we have a lot on, like, we close most of this stuff. I think we closed all of this, really. I don't think we really have anything open anymore. Overall, I think it's been a pretty decent run. But I wanted to see if we can look at today here. Right now I just plan on letting the that call spread go out worthless, and sorry, the put spread in Meta go out worthless. All right, so let's see here now. So generally, you got flat curve. Just kind of curious here for SIBO, because Kieran, I think I was just going to go, oh well, how about like a 240 calendar, and then it's going to go to 240. I know it's like a layup, right? But this is only like 20 vol. The only problem with options in this stock is it's not the easiest option name to trade. You need to have a lot of time overall in this one. I've never had it's been kind of like a good puts in stock type of thing. Like selling some put spreads and stuff like that. It doesn't make a great tradable stock. But might make a decent div play, but not huge yields. Like, even if we sold like the June 210, like again, it's just sort of like dumb stuff. Sell the 210 puts in lieu and pick up the dividend. Try to pick up, you either pick up the 210 put, sell the 210 put, or pick up the dividend. It's just strictly like stuff like that. If you have questions about that as strategy, let me know. But basically, it's a good TIB play stock every quarter. If you want to, it's a pretty decent dividend. You get some money for selling the put. Little less than 1% though to sell the 210 put, which is not super great. It's a little low for me. Let me see here. So we do one, even if you got 150 divided by 210. Yeah, you're not even getting 1% till June. It's very iffy. So that's not even that great here. So I thought though what we would do is just look at kind of a quarterly portfolio hedge type trade. Now you could do it a couple of different ways. I was kind of tempted to use SQQQ here. Because sometimes this sets up relatively well. And let's take a look here. So, I mean, it just recently got up to what? $56, peaked here, trading 28. I think the most reasonable top would be about $33, and it's trading around what, $28? I mean, that's about as high as it goes, I would think. Getting through now again, going out here, stuff like, okay, like you buy the 30. If you go the 30-40 call spread is about $1.50. That's your short market piece, potentially worth $1,000. And then, but you don't have to spend a whole lot out to June. Like the thing can get to like $35. So I think it sort of would be a cheap setup. Also, the Q is almost $500 again. So that, the setup for this is not too bad. And also 70 volatility here. Sorry. It just is it's just not, it's not that expensive. So here, let's just take a look at setting this up. So again, volatility is here. I mean, it's still like trading. It was just trading $34 trading here. So how I would set this up is, again, SQQQ, again, very low with the Q trading. I mean, this Qs have just, another thing too is Apple is not doing particularly well. It's pulled back a little since we sold that put fly from last week. Oh, they got cooked on antitrust. I think they got cooked also because Warren Buffett sold more of it. I was kind of hoping he'd just buy one more thing for the heck of it for fun before he, but they lost. Oh, wow. They lost their Apple tax. So here's another thing with the Apple tax on the Apple Store. Like, it's their store. But it's like, hey, you don't like my store, you go somewhere else. But I feel like I have to ask Frank if they'll win. But anyway, it could be some softness for Q, but mostly I like the price of this as a hedge for this. So you go out to June, even if you buy a 30 or a 31 call, here, like a 30-40 call spread is only going to be, even a 30-39 call spread is only like $2.50. Or sorry, $1.50. And then just go out here to June and do the same thing. I mean, I wouldn't buy a 60 call, but you could buy a 55 put for like $2.50. Or I would even consider a put spread at this point. Let's see here. Pricing this. So here, let's just kind of start the idea. So SQQ, you'd buy. Now, here's the thing, because you have the Fed coming out this week. I'm not super. I wouldn't do this by the spread yet, right? So you buy one SQQ June 20, 30 call. And then, again, under the assumption that, well, let's take a look at where some of these calls have been. And we could also look at but VIX options don't look cheap either in June yet. So it's not my favorite. Let's see here, June. So let's see how expensive, right? These 30 calls, let's see, on this date, they got to $5.90 and about as high as $7. And then, of course, this is crazy town. I don't think we'll ever get back. And that, this is when we had that secondary pop, $11. So these could definitely make some money. I would not sell this call currently today. I would not sell the 40 call today. Now, on the flip side, so they're saying around 259. So when I just said this is buy to open one. And then here, June 20 feels like a long way away. So this is not, 259 is not a lot. I think all you need to do is really buy one VXX put. You don't need to buy a lot of them. But I think we could be 55 pretty fast. The 55 puts are around 269. Again, prices are about equal. And I think our low here is 52, 48. So again, it's not the dead low, but certainly enough for our 55 puts that they would have a shot to pay us. And this is only 15, 16, 17 volatility, by the way. So part of this is like the pricing is pretty good. And then we could do one of two things, is we could sell options against them in the short term if the opportunity presents itself. I think the 55 puts theoretically could probably get up to $10. That would be the most they could get to. We would need to see like 16 by June, which is 16 is totally possible, by the way, even 18. Right. And then we just hold and close whatever pays. So this is like a more, I would say, type of quarterly type trade. And again, we're basically sitting here, and part of the reason is VIX curve is flat. The Fed comes out, good, bad, or ugly, who knows? And then from a management point of view, we just move a stop up. If this starts to pay, we'll just move stops up. trying to hold on to this. But I think more likely than not, this put is probably $4 by the end of the week. That would be my guess, because Trump is going to tariff movies. Market only cared for 0.75 of a point. And, the Fed is going to most likely be dovish. Could be wrong. But I think you're going to want to own that. And this is, again, sets up pretty well. But again, the Qs have just flipped, and they're almost back to, like, it's hard to believe they're almost $500 again. Crazy. And there we go. So that is our trade. I'm going to put this out on our trade 334. Does anybody have any questions about this as a trade idea? This is what I would call, like, it's not exactly quarterly. I like to buy more time, but the volatility is still pretty high. So, and obviously the 30 calls could be worth a lot. If we get any kind of a 2 to 3% meltdown, we want to sell those. No questions, but thanks for not singing, and always love the VXX trades. Howard, we're here to please. How do you size that? I'd say, I'll tell you, if you bought a 10 lot, Kieran, you could probably, that's $100,000 in stocks if you bought a 10 lot of this. Because those calls could be worth, I don't know, $10 each, or more. I mean, what did they get to? They got to, sorry, let me get SQQQ. At max, you could see them $20 a piece if you had a 10 lot. I'm just saying. So I think a 10 lot on 100,000 is plenty. And you just keep moving your stops up if we actually start to have that same pitch again. But I'll go through the stop routine as time goes on with it. Okay. I'm going to go buy a couple. So again, volatility is coming down pretty hard in these things. VXX, again, for a 30-day plus hold is compelling to actually drop 15 to 20%. It can easily do that. It just hasn't in a while. I'm going to bid 260 for my SQQQ calls. Let's say 259. All right. And we're going to buy 3. And totally ignored. I'll see if it fills. I'll wait till the note goes out a little bit. Up, fills. And then I'm VXX. And I'm going to buy the June 2085s. And they're saying 269. I'm going to try 265 for 3. And there we go. All right. Let's see what we got. So this fills 265 and 259. All righty. There we go. We got our trade on. If you have any equities, or if there are Edge Hunter sheets that you want to see, again, we have a sheet for anything on this curve. We could do that this week. Let me know. And there you go. I don't expect a lot to happen with volatility until after Wednesday. So any vol trade you do, like if you're probably trying to short vol, you'll probably get slightly better prices. I might do a little more of this tomorrow into the end of the day. We'll see how everything goes. I think our flat curve is undecided vol, Kieran. That's where I am on it. You're not getting any kind of a move, you know? All right. Flat is you know what? I would not. So flat coming from a backward curve is usually bearish vol, I would say. Flat VIX curve coming from up to down is generally bearish vol. That'll make Howard happy. Directional change is important. Like, yeah, today, actually, I would say is not really a change in direction because it's mostly weekend effect. You know, and you're also like, I think the VXX vol is too low right here. It shouldn't be this low, in my view. So vol product vol is too cheap. All right, you guys, have a good day. And we'll see you Thursday. All right, take care.